Vietnamese restaurant?
No, I was doing something up there. You came up there while I went to lunch.
What's going on, pal?
Hello, Kevin.
All right, trying to.
I brought 50 rolls of film. I better get busy. Start taking some pictures of something.
I've been doing that. I just kind of put mine every song of those flick. Because I figured we're.
Once there was a time when my hands and heart were free. The mother of security wrapped her arms around me. Then the dungeon doors were open, cast a shadow all around, trying to shake away from the chains of this old town. In my hands, you got all the love, honey, baby, I can stand.
Drop 10.
I've been weak, I've been hard as oak. Seen pretty people disappear like smoke. Friends will arrive, friends will disappear. If you need me, honey, baby, I'll be here. I like your lips, I like the way you move your hips, I like the cool look at me. Everything about you is causing me misery. Life is hard, life is a bust. Well, all you can do is do what you must. You do what you must do, and you do it well. I do it for you, honey, baby, can you tell? I've been everywhere, man, I've been everywhere, man. Across the deserts bare, man, I breathe the mountain air, man. Travel life, I've had my share, man, and I've been everywhere. I've been to Reno, Chicago, Fargo, Minnesota, Buffalo, Toronto, Winslow, Sarasota, Wichita, Tulsa, Iowa, Oklahoma, Tampa, Panama, Manitowoc, La Paloma, Bangor, Baltimore, Salvador, Amarillo, Tucapilla, Beardville, Amity, across the deserts bare, man, I breathe the mountain air, man. Travel life, I've had my share, man, and I've been everywhere. Been to Posted, Charleston, Dayton, Louisiana, Washington, Eastville, Waterville, Shepherdville, Costa Rica, Richfield, Springfield, Bakersfield, Shreveport, Hackensack, Cadillac, Fond du Lac, Davenport, Idaho, Jellicoe, Argentina, Medina, Pasadena, Catalina, see what I mean. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. I've crossed the deserts bare, man. I breathe the mountain air, man. Travel, I've had my share, man, and I've been everywhere. Nebraska, Alaska, Opelika, Baraboo, Waterloo, Kalamazoo, Kansas City, Sioux City, Cedar City, Dodge City, what a pity.
Well, here we are on day 3, huh?
shabby of a morning.
Is that up or down? Is that on the river or is that up in the air?
It's what?
It's an airplane.
What's an
Is
airplane?
that airplane?
So Laurel, how long you been running rivers?
I ran rivers for about 9 summers.
Wow.
My last summer was 2 or 3 summers ago. I'm semi-retired.
Oh, okay. A semi-retired river runner.
That's right.
And who introduced you to this sport?
I graduated to private, up a level to private trips. Only.
Right. How did you get introduced?
It all leads back to Hogan. It's all Chris Hogan's fault.
Uh-huh.
Because he brought Dwight down, who's my dad, and Dwight brought me down on the last private trip. What was it? 12 years ago or whatever.
Betty, are you an experienced river runner?
No, I've done Cataract Canyon, Middle Fork
You've
of
done
the
some.
Middle
Yeah.
Fork of the Salmon. River out, a couple rivers back east, like Virginia, West Virginia
This is
east.
a good one for your first one. Punch the hole. Throw the paddle. Just throw the paddle.
Well, Betty, what do you normally do when you're not running rivers?
Garden.
Well, read. I don't want to make any admissions against interest.
That's
but
true.
I'm a lawyer, but I'm on deep sabbatical.
Uh-huh.
And so, on my sabbatical, I'm doing some volunteer work at a botanical garden, and I'm learning to play the dobro.
How long is your sabbatical?
Well, so far it's exceeded 2 years.
Oh, is this like a permanent sabbatical?
Well, it's hard to say.
Pretty long sabbatical.
It's getting to be kind of suspect as a sabbatical.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Laurel, how about you? What are you doing now that you're not running rivers?
I am a graphic artist.
Oh, that's
for a
cool.
Educational software company.
Oh, neat.
It's pretty fun. Good job, Burp.
I love Baja.
Yeah.
You know, and it's so close. When was the first time you guys met old Hogan, anyway? He seems to be the bind
Here
the
it is.
ties
It is
around
the
here.
Utah, it's
Yeah.
the Utah century plant, Agave utaiensis.
Century plant.
Yeah, Utah century plant. Utah.
River corridor vegetation. Dwight's known Hogan since they were both teenagers. And they've known McNulty that long too.
They all were raised together as kids?
They all lived together in LA or Pasadena or something.
Oh.
Right in the same neighborhood. So they were all troublemakers together.
And they still are.
That's right.
They're just not able to make the kind of trouble they used to, though.
Mm-hmm. Well, who is? Heavens.
That's the kind of thing you can't admit on the commercial trips.
What's that? You need to read the
I
map
wish
more?
I could read the map a little better
you know where you
sometimes.
are.
Because I thought we were about 3 miles further down than we are.
Well, you got to admit, this just being day 3, this is some of the most incredible territory I've ever seen.
Yeah. Marble Canyon. But I also know he wanted to put a railroad through, and I can't remember which purpose that thinking
So we're still in Marble Canyon.
Yeah.
And this is Vasey's Paradise.
And on some of those expeditions, even though they, had some completely other purpose, all managed to have botanists on them. And a lot of those.
They came down.
Here we go, Dwight at the wheel.
I want to take a picture of this. Okay.
better be warmer.
Now this is Redwall Cavern, right?
Redwall Cavern.
And this is the Redwall limestone formation that we're in the middle of. Do we get to stop here for lunch?
Hell yeah. This is a nice eddy we've got going on here. There could be some trout in there.
There's our people down there. It gives you an idea how big this thing is. John Wesley Powell said 50,000 people would fit in it. And that's our lunch spot, right?
Yes, it is.
Cookie time. Snack treats for me.
Almost like a pillar over there. And then stick down over here. Like a perfect.
I can't come in here without thinking that thing collapsed. As soon as you walk in the back, you see some of those huge slabs that come out the ceiling. A couple of which won't be left all night.
Stretched out right here. Yeah, it does.
I'll do this stuff.
Looks like that trunk is falling
Yeah.
right off.
Dooley was a gold man, he lived below the mill. Dooley had 2 daughters and a 40-gallon still. One gal watched boilers, the other watched the spout. Mama corked the bottles while Dooley fetched 'em out. Dooley sneaking up a holler, Dooley trying to make a dollar. Dooley, give me a smart and I'll pay you back someday. 220. Revenue officers caught for him slipping through the woods. Dooley crept behind him and never lost his goods. Dooley was a trader when into town he come. Sugar by the bushel and molasses by the ton. Dooley sneaking up a holler. Dooley trying to make a dollar. Dooley, give me a sword and I'll pay you back someday.
Well, here we are on day 4 with trip leader Chris Hogan. Our first little riffle of the day coming up.
In the shade, in the cold.
In the shade, in the cold, no problem for us. We're here with the man.
Another example of extreme climatic variations in the Grand Canyon.
And his daughter Kirsten.
Variations. Day 3, day 4.
Little tiny popper down here on the left, bottom of the tongue. We're just going to kind of maneuver ourselves to the right of that, hopefully. Catch that right edge of that tongue, just go straight on down. Have a little morning wake-up call.
Just a little riffle. And here comes the rest of our bunch behind us. Not even a name on this rapids. Little riffle. Well, good morning. Well, so Chris, how many times you been down the river?
Oh Lord, it's close to 100. Probably it's 90, 92, 93, somewhere around there is my best guess.
Well, so you're the trip leader here. You've done this about every 10 years for the last few?
1990, 1988, and then before that, I ended commercially in 78. So only 4 trips in the last, 78, 23 years.
Uh-huh. And you were threatening this was going to be your last, huh?
Well,
Still feel that way?
Until we found out that Susie Williams, Mike's ex-wife, may have a trip going in 3 years. If she's willing to only take a few people, we might just have to use a little discretion and see what part of this group would like to do it again.
I don't think you'd have any problem rounding up some takers.
Well, I don't know. What if you have a job in Hawaii or something?
Well, that's what you quit for.
That's
Hawaii doesn't have a Grand Canyon, does it?
no, it does.
It does. Why there?
Uh-oh.
You were misinformed.
Really? Well, so what does this river mean to you anyway? This is a big part of your life, huh?
Big part of it. Big part of everybody's life. I would be suspicious of anybody that came down here and didn't think it was one of the experiences of a lifetime. Wouldn't you?
Yeah, I would. Well, so when did you start running the river?
1970 I ran here.
How did you get into it?
How did I get into it? Well, I was living in Park City. I was right out of college. And a couple of the ski patrolmen and ski instructors worked down here in the summer and worked in Park City in the winter. Invited me to go on a river run of the Provo. I think it was 1969. And so we went down, and then we had a moderate disaster. We had a flip boat and floodwater stage, and had to rescue some people on a sandbar in the middle of this river. And I was one of the idiots who volunteered to go get this guy off of there. And they said, you know, maybe we had a great time and I loved it, and I expressed that fact. A couple of them worked for a guy by the name of Ron Smith, had an outfit in Salt Lake. He offered me a trip as a swamper, which is a trainee. In exchange, if I'd go down, he was moving his operation to Kanab, Utah. And if I'd go down and build him a warehouse, he'd give me a free trip. I did, he did, and then he said he didn't have anything for me. My truck had broken down. I was hitchhiking back from Kanab to Salt Lake. And one of the guys had just come off the river later that day or the following morning, broke his leg. They needed a boatman. First trip was motor trip, second trip was a rowing trip. So they put me in the boat. After about a day, when everybody realized I'd never been down here but once, and I didn't know what the hell I was doing, couldn't get anybody to ride on my boat. So only the bravest and stoutest got to do it. So I had a short training session. And when I asked the guy who owned the company, Ron Smith, you know, why in the hell would he jeopardize his reputation by sending a boatman down in a rig he'd never been in before and only been on one river trip, he said, well, just think how much you'll learn if you come out the bottom. I thought, well, that's true. What if I don't? What happens with your passengers?
What are these little holes up here on the side of the canyon? Looks like somebody's been drilling holes.
This is probably...
Is this the Marble Canyon dam site?
Marble Canyon dam site, maybe?
So here's where they were gonna, yeah, there's some little holes right up there in the canyon wall. Looks like somebody's been boring in. It's like a damn good dam site.
This is it. Okay, you used to be an old barge. There's still, yeah, this is Marble Canyon dam site, guys. Some of the old holes.
Hard to believe they were going to try to dam this thing up once, huh?
This is going to be called their cash register dam. They seem to feel that this thing would really, Glen Canyon was sort of a setup, but this is going to be the real utility cash register dam. They were very disappointed.
You mean they were going to have this one and Glen Canyon?
Yes, Yeah, the old buck.
Well, Chris, so what's the biggest disaster you've had in your rafting career?
Oh, I'd rather not dwell on that.
Well, how about the second worst then?
What a thing to ask. Oh, you know, I've never really had to helicopter a few people out, but no disasters or fatalities on my boats. And I'd like to keep it that way, especially this late twilight of my career.
How about,
I feel like one of these gondola operators who, in Venice or something.
What's the best trip you ever had?
I'd have to say our trip in 1974. When we were down here for 33 days. We can't, the food certainly wasn't, made that trip great. It was just a bunch of people in their early 20s. And just really didn't have a care in the world, and a lot of responsibility, and none of us had kids or family yet. We just had a blast.
Okay, Chris, this is Royal Arches,
This is Royal Arches.
and this the buck farm here?
No,
What were you saying?
the farm was back up the road.
Oh.
Actually, I'm glad we didn't camp there. It was pretty much overrun with tamarisk.
So Chris, through the years, has your attitude towards running this river changed very much? Like, did you start out loving the white water of it? And
Oh, I think so.
did it mellow for you, or what's the evolution of your?
No, you know, and really that's one of the unique things about it, and that is that it just is intense the first time as I think it is the last.
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, there's a lot of things that you can anticipate and a lot less surprises, but I think your appreciation grows proportional to the dissipation of the surprises.
Uh-huh.
Makes it every bit as interesting, if not more interesting, the 90th time or, versus the first time. We go in that hole, you're gonna.
Yeah, I'll hold it.
You're gonna have a
Dump
hell of
like
a-
that.
You do that.
So why everybody's kind of down hanging on? Safety reasons. What we're gonna do?
This is what rapids?
This is President Hardy.
How would you rate this in terms of a river rapid?
Well, I'll tell you what, a little more interesting than it used to be. It used to be probably like about a 3 or 4 on a 10th scale. Now I'd say it's closer to probably a 5 or a 6. It's not a difficult rapid, but you do have some very strange currents with everything bearing down on that rock. The rapids change. The fall up here on the right is blocked off the right side, which is the traditional run, so we're going to have to try it on the left. What we're going to do is we're going to go down here and we're going to do our very best to put our stern into that slow water right at the top left of the tongue. Help pull us over to the left. Get us away from that, not only that rock, but that hole at the bottom. See if we can catch that little slot right to the left of it. We may end up surfing up in that cushion, but as long as we don't go in it, I'll be pleased. Okay?
How do we know if it's been a success?
Well, if we come out right side up, everybody's got a grin on their face.
And your camera's not in the water.
Oh, okay.
That's a very good indication. All right, so we want to go up here and kind of catch some little tail waves. Pretty sharp little turn here. Hope that eddy's in.
The other rafts are lining up behind us.
Okay.
Line up.
Good little chickadees. We're down here buried in the Redwall. Getting ready for the President Harding Rapids. Why was this named after Harding?
Well, President Harding, USGS survey team.